From 1991 to 1998, the incidence of newborn abandonment in public places increased 62% across the country. Dramatic accounts in the newspapers and on television underscored the problem. In March 1998, a baby was found by two 13-year-old boys who saw a body floating face down in 14 feet of water in the California aqueduct. The red-haired 20-inch girl was tagged Baby Jane Doe number 21 and given the name Grace. Sheriff's deputies initially thought she may have been strangled before being dumped, although they may never know for sure because the body was badly decomposed. Similar tragedies were occurring in other areas, and states searched for solutions to this growing issue. The first law was passed in Texas in 1999, allowing a parent to relinquish an infant anonymously. Other states began to follow with similar laws. In August 2001, the Illinois General Assembly passed the Abandoned Newborn Infant Protection Act. Under this law, almost 200 babies have been saved from illegal abandonment in Illinois. The Baby Safe Haven Law, as it was nicknamed, allows a parent to safely and legally relinquish an unharmed infant 30 days old or less, anonymously and without fear of prosecution. By 2009, all 50 states had enacted a Baby Safe Haven Law, although specifics vary from state to state. The intent of the Baby Safe Haven Law is to assure the safety of newborns who might otherwise be illegally abandoned. The law provides a legal alternative to parents who may be under severe emotional distress or unable to provide for the basic needs of an infant. The law allows the birth parents to legally, anonymously, and safely relinquish an unharmed infant 30 days old or less to personnel at a hospital, emergency medical care facility, firehouse, police station, college or university police station, or Illinois State Police District headquarters with no questions asked or fear of arrest or prosecution. A relinquishing parent will be offered either written or electronic information that includes a medical and family history questionnaire. They can voluntarily and anonymously fill out the forms and provide these to DCFS. The questionnaires can be completed and returned to the state shortly after the relinquishment or at a later date. They will also be offered resources for pregnancy, grief, and adoption counseling, and information about the health of a woman after giving birth. During the legal process, the infant will be placed in an appropriate home. Whenever possible, they must be placed in a prospective adoptive home. This would be the home into which they are expected to be adopted once the legal process is completed. The process to terminate parental rights may begin no sooner than 60 days after the relinquishment of the infant to the hospital, fire station, police station, or emergency medical facility. Parents may petition the court for the return of custody of their infant before the termination of their parental rights. If a newborn is over 30 days old, the Baby Safe Haven Law does not apply, and all existing laws and procedures related to child abandonment remain in effect. If there is evidence of abuse or neglect, the Baby Safe Haven Law protections do not apply. All existing laws and procedures related to cases of child abuse and neglect remain in effect. The Baby Safe Haven Law makes no changes to existing Illinois laws governing fathers' rights. Before a petition to terminate parental rights can be filed, DCFS or the welfare agency must search Illinois' putative father registry at least 30 days after the relinquished infant's estimated date of birth, if the name of either of the biological parents is known. Those who have registered on this list, stating they are the father of an infant born to a particular woman, may participate in the child's adoption or in parenting the child. DNA tests may be done to prove paternity. If the names of the alleged parents are unknown, then a search is not required. Since 2001, over 5,000 babies have been saved from illegal abandonment across the country. These children have found lives with loving adoptive families, a life that may have ended in infancy had it not been for the Baby Safe Haven Law. The work is not done, however. Babies continue to be illegally abandoned and even killed, in many cases, due to a lack of knowledge of this law. Understanding the law and spreading the word is critical to saving infants' lives and allowing fearful parents to choose life for their child, despite their desperate circumstances.
I'm so thankful that my life began at a safe haven.
No shame, no blame, and no names. Just a helping hand. The Safe Haven Law means within 30 days of birth, an infant can be brought to a safe haven location to start a new life with an adoptive family. Just think of the possibilities. Discover hope and provide a brighter future when you reach out for help.
Thank you for choosing to go to a safe haven.
There are many reasons why a birth parent may abandon their infant, most of which are driven by fear and uncertainty. Let's look at a few common circumstances.
I'm terrified to tell my parents I am pregnant. My father always warned me that there would be a high price to pay if I ever came home pregnant before I was married. What if he gets violent? So far, I've been able to hide my pregnancy, but the time to have this baby is coming fast. I can't let my parents know about this, but I just have nowhere else to turn.
Julia has a fear of disappointment and even violence from her parents in the event they found out she was pregnant.
I can't believe it. A few of my friends think that my girlfriend Linda might be pregnant. No way. What's going to happen to my life? My parents will be so upset and I'm not ready to be a father. What choice do I have?
Noah is not prepared emotionally or mentally to have a child and is ashamed to tell his parents.
This can't be happening. It's my time. I've just been accepted into university, and I do not want to give up the chance to succeed in college and build this career I've always wanted. I don't want to hurt this baby, but what can I do?
Candace is afraid she will not finish school and have the career and life she envisioned for herself. A person who has experienced any of these circumstances or others may be under severe emotional distress and feel as though there is nowhere to turn to for help. In some of these cases, people have illegally abandoned their newborn infants. The Baby Safe Haven Law offers a safe, legal alternative for anyone who is unable to care for their newborn. There are other alternatives to using the Safe Haven Law, however, depending on the circumstances. For example, if a parent wants to keep the newborn but thinks they can't afford to care for the infant, public assistance and food stamps may help. If a woman is afraid of abuse or of her parents, she can contact the National Domestic Violence Hotline or the Family Services Agency in her county or community for help and counseling. The health of the mother and the baby will be protected if the mother receives medical care before the baby is born and gives birth in a hospital. If the woman chooses to get medical care before the baby is born and/or gives birth in a hospital, she will not be keeping her pregnancy a secret. She will need to give her name and insurance to the clinic where she receives prenatal care and to the hospital where she gives birth. She can provide anonymous information on her family's medical history and the father's history, if possible, which would be extremely helpful to the adoptive parents. Choosing adoption may give the baby the best possible start in life. A parent who has decided to place their infant for adoption may participate in the adoption plan and can decide whether they wish to remain anonymous or maintain ongoing contact with the adoptive family. Those who relinquish an infant through the Baby Safe Haven Law can also participate in an adoption plan for the infant by contacting DCFS. Let's read through a few scenarios. Think about the choices that were made, how the infant was left, and the ultimate result. Decide if each one is a case of safe relinquishment or illegal abandonment. A newborn infant was found in a garbage can after a neighbor heard the baby crying. The fully clothed baby, estimated to be 2 to 3 hours old, was wedged between the handle of the garbage can and a wall. The baby was taken to an area hospital where the nursing supervisor said she was in good condition. Police talked to neighbors and followed up on tips that came in as they attempted unsuccessfully to find the baby's parents. Is this a case of safe relinquishment or illegal abandonment? This is clearly a case of illegal abandonment. If the neighbor had not heard the baby's cries, any number of bad things could have happened to the newborn. If the police had found the parents, they would not have been protected under the law. Dressed in a tiny t-shirt that reads, "My First Halloween," a newborn baby was brought to a suburban fire station by his mother. She also handed formula and extra diapers to the firemen on staff that approached them and took home the information packet and medical family history form. The baby was transported to a local hospital where he was pronounced healthy and placed in a pre-adoptive home. Is this a case of safe and legal relinquishment or illegal abandonment? This mother and infant were protected under the Abandoned Newborn Infant Protection Act, or what we call the Safe Haven Law. She left the fire station with no questions asked and no fear of prosecution. The custodian of a church was making certain everything was in order for the many services and activities planned for the upcoming week of Christmas when he found something unexpected. When he opened the door to a seldom-used reception hall, he thought he heard kittens mewing. During his investigation of the soft noises, he was surprised to find newborn twins wrapped in blankets and tucked into a large box next to the radiator. The custodian thought they must have been placed there recently, as they were warm, their diapers were dry, and they seemed to have been fed. Police were called to investigate, and the babies were transported to an area hospital. Is this a case of safe and legal relinquishment or illegal abandonment? This is a case of illegal abandonment. Churches are not considered safe havens under Illinois law, as they are not open 24/7 and staff is not readily available to accept a newborn. These twins were not safely relinquished as defined by the Safe Haven Law. They were left in a reception hall that was not ordinarily used or heated, and it could have been days before they were found. Once they were examined at the hospital and deemed healthy, they were placed in the foster care system. The parents were sought out for illegal abandonment. You may know of someone who is pregnant and scared. If your friend is unwilling to talk to their parents, encourage her to talk to someone who knows about the services and resources available in your community. School counselors, social workers, nurses, and teachers can also be helpful and supportive. Knowing what resources are available can help someone in danger of abandoning an infant. Unfortunately, unsafe illegal abandonments continue in part because of unfamiliarity with the law. You can make a difference. Tell a friend about the law. You may save the life of a newborn baby.